Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, your mind racing with thoughts that seem impossible to turn off? Perhaps you're replaying conversations, worrying about your health, or wondering about your future. It's something many of us experience, but as we get older, it can start to feel like the weight of these thoughts gets heavier. Maybe you've noticed that overthinking has become a more frequent companion in your life. You're not alone. Many people, especially as they age, struggle with overthinking. It's easy to feel like your mind is constantly busy, thinking through scenarios and worries that never seem to stop. Overthinking can be exhausting. It robs you of your peace of mind and often leads to unnecessary stress, anxiety, and even physical symptoms like headaches or disrupted sleep. But here's the good news. You don't have to live with it. In fact, there are simple, effective ways to quiet your mind, regain control, and embrace a life of mental peace and clarity. In this video, we're going to explore how to stop overthinking specifically as we age. We'll cover practical steps and strategies that can help you manage your thoughts, reduce anxiety, and bring more calm into your life. Whether it's worrying about small things that feel like they're magnified, or larger life questions that can leave you stuck in a loop, there are ways to regain control. Let's dive right in. One of the first steps in overcoming overthinking is to acknowledge that it's happening. Often, overthinking is so ingrained in our daily habits that we don't even realize we're doing it. You might find yourself caught in the cycle of endless what-ifs, and before you know it, hours have passed, and your mind is still spinning. A lot of overthinking stems from our brain's natural tendency to seek certainty. We want to know what's going to happen next, but life, especially as we age, can feel unpredictable. It's normal to want to have all the answers, but the truth is that we can't control everything. The more we try to anticipate and analyze every possible outcome, the more we actually end up wasting mental energy and time. The key to stopping overthinking starts with recognizing it as a pattern. Over time, this can become a habit, but habits can be changed. So, the next time you catch yourself spiraling into overthinking, pause. Take a step back and ask yourself, am I truly in control of this situation, or am I just spinning my wheels with worry? Often, just bringing awareness to the cycle of overthinking is enough to start breaking the pattern. But just becoming aware isn't always enough. We need tools to manage our thoughts. One powerful tool is mindful breathing. Sounds simple, but it works wonders. When you're caught up in overthinking, your mind races, and your breathing often becomes shallow and rapid. This can make everything feel more intense and out of control. But when you practice deep, slow breathing, you send a signal to your brain that it's time to relax. Try this. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. Repeat this process a few times, and notice how your thoughts begin to slow down. 2. It may feel awkward at first, but with practice, mindful breathing can help you calm your mind in moments of stress or anxiety. This simple tool helps you stay in the present moment, rather than getting lost in a sea of what-ifs and worries about things that may never even happen. Now, let's talk about another powerful technique for stopping overthinking. Writing things down. Have you ever noticed that when you're overwhelmed with thoughts, everything seems to be swirling around in your head, and it can be hard to make sense of any of it? Writing down your thoughts can help you gain perspective and put things in order. When you write, you're externalizing your thoughts, making them tangible, which can often make them feel more manageable. Start by taking just 10 to 15 minutes a day to write down your thoughts. This could be in the form of a journal entry, a to-do list, or even a brain dump where you write down everything that's swirling in your mind. The goal isn't to write perfectly. It's to get the thoughts out of your head and onto paper, where they can be analyzed and organized more clearly. Writing allows you to look at your thoughts with fresh eyes and can help you gain clarity on what's really worth your attention and what's just unnecessary worry. This can be especially helpful if you're dealing with concerns about your health, family, or finances, things that naturally cause stress as we age. By putting your thoughts on paper, you can evaluate them with a more objective lens and reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed. In addition to writing, another important strategy is to set time limits for worrying. Now, this might sound a little strange at first. How can you limit worrying? But bear with me. If you find yourself overthinking a particular issue, try giving yourself a set amount of time to think about it. It might sound counterintuitive, but setting boundaries around your worry time can actually help you gain more control over it. For example, if you're worried about a health appointment or a family concern, set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and allow yourself to think about it during that time. Then, once the timer goes off, shift your focus to something else. This technique trains your brain to stop dwelling on issues indefinitely, and it helps you recognize that your worries don't have to take over your entire day. As we get older, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking about past mistakes or future uncertainties. But living in the past or the future can be exhausting and unproductive. Overthinking often leads us to ruminate on things we cannot change, regrets about the past, or fears about the future. The truth is, the present moment is the only time we can truly control. When you catch yourself overthinking about past mistakes or future fears, remind yourself that those moments are no longer here, and the future hasn't happened yet. What you have is right now. Focus on that. Engage in an activity that brings you joy or peace in the moment, like a hobby, walking in nature, or spending time with loved ones. By practicing these techniques, mindful breathing, writing down your thoughts, and focusing on the present, you can start to reduce the grip overthinking has on your life. Over time, these habits will help you feel more at peace, more grounded, and more in control of your thoughts. Now that we've talked about how to stop overthinking by recognizing the pattern, using mindful breathing, journaling, and focusing on the present, let's look at how engaging in meaningful activities can also help shift your mind away from overthinking. Keeping your mind active with hobbies, interests, and social connections can be an excellent way to redirect your focus and reduce stress. Now that we've laid the foundation for recognizing and managing overthinking, let's dive into some more strategies that can help keep your mind focused and calm as you age. One of the most effective ways to stop overthinking is to engage in meaningful activities that capture your attention and keep you present in the moment. Keeping your mind occupied with hobbies, new interests, and activities can act as a natural distraction from repetitive and exhausting thought patterns. As we get older, it's easy to fall into a routine, where we may spend more time alone or become less engaged with the world around us. But research shows that staying engaged in activities that bring you joy, challenge you, or connect you to others can have a profound impact on mental well-being. It keeps your brain active, reduces the likelihood of becoming stuck in an overthinking cycle, and helps you maintain a sense of purpose. Embrace a new hobby or rekindle an old one. Have you ever had a passion or interest that you used to enjoy, but life got busy, and you just didn't have the time for it? Or maybe you've always wanted to try something new but never found the opportunity. It's never too late to pick up a new hobby or revisit an old one. And doing so can be a great way to shift your focus away from overthinking. Learning a new skill, whether it's painting, knitting, playing an instrument, or even gardening, requires your full attention. It forces your brain to focus on the task at hand and often brings you into the present moment. When you're learning something new or practicing a hobby, you're not dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future possibilities. You're simply enjoying the process. This mental shift from overthinking to active engagement is incredibly powerful. If you don't have a specific hobby in mind, start with something that piques your curiosity. Think about what you've always wanted to try, or consider things that bring you joy. Perhaps it's exploring new recipes in the kitchen or picking up a camera to capture the beauty around you. The goal is to find something that excites you and holds your attention, creating a natural distraction from any overactive thoughts. If you already have hobbies you enjoy, consider expanding them or making them a more significant part of your routine. You might want to join a community group or attend classes in your area to meet people who share similar interests. Connecting with others who enjoy the same activities can add an extra layer of enjoyment and help you feel more engaged in life. Exercise. A natural way to quiet the mind. Another excellent way to combat overthinking is exercise. You might have heard it before, but it's true. Physical activity is a powerful tool for clearing your mind and improving your mood. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that can naturally reduce stress, anxiety, and even negative thinking patterns. The best part is that you don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights to reap the benefits. Low-impact exercises such as walking, yoga, or Tai Chi can help reduce stress, improve circulation, and promote relaxation. In fact, walking in nature or around your neighborhood can be a wonderful way to quiet your mind and recenter yourself. As you focus on your breath and the rhythm of your steps, your body and mind naturally become more in tune with the present moment, leaving less space for worrying thoughts. Yoga, in particular, is a great option because it combines both physical movement and mindfulness. Many yoga poses encourage relaxation and deep breathing, which can help calm the nervous system and reduce mental chatter. Plus, yoga encourages a mind-body connection, which can help you become more aware of how your thoughts influence your body and vice versa. This awareness can lead to better self-control over your mind and help you feel more at peace. For those who prefer something more social, group exercises such as water aerobics, dance classes, or even walking clubs can add an extra element of motivation and enjoyment. Exercise doesn't have to feel like a chore. It can be fun, social, and incredibly rewarding. The key is finding an activity that feels right for you and making it a part of your routine. By incorporating regular physical activity into your life, you're not just improving your body, you're also giving your mind a much-needed break from the constant cycle of overthinking. Strengthening social connections. We all know that human connection is essential for our well-being. But as we get older, we may find ourselves spending more time alone or feeling more isolated. Loneliness can contribute to feelings of sadness, anxiety, and, yes, overthinking. When we're alone with our thoughts for too long, it becomes easy to get trapped in a loop of worry and doubt. That's why social engagement is so important, especially as we age. Maintaining and nurturing your social connections can provide you with emotional support, laughter, and a sense of belonging. Whether it's spending time with family, catching up with friends, or participating in community activities, engaging with others can help take the focus off your worries. Often, the act of simply talking to someone else, whether it's about something lighthearted or more serious, can help break the cycle of overthinking and put things into perspective. If you feel like your social circle has gotten smaller over the years, consider making an effort to reach out to others. This might mean calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, joining a local social group, or volunteering for a cause you care about. Social connections don't have to be big gatherings or fancy events. Sometimes, even a short conversation over coffee or a simple chat with a neighbor can provide the mental relief you need. If mobility or health issues make it harder to engage socially, you can still find ways to connect with others. Consider online groups, virtual meetups, or even phone calls with loved ones. Many communities have local organizations that offer activities for seniors, such as book clubs, game nights, or educational workshops. These social outlets can give you the opportunity to share experiences, make new friends, and find support, helping to reduce feelings of isolation and, in turn, lessen the tendency to overthink. The power of meditation and mindfulness. In addition to physical activity and socializing, meditation and mindfulness practices are incredibly effective tools for quieting the mind and reducing overthinking. Meditation has been shown to reduce anxiety, improve emotional regulation, and enhance overall well-being. The beauty of meditation is that it doesn't require any special equipment or a lot of time. You can start with just 5 to 10 minutes a day and gradually build up as you become more comfortable. There are many different types of meditation, but one of the most common is mindfulness meditation. This practice involves focusing on your breath and being aware of the present moment without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You allow them to come and go without holding on to them or overanalyzing them. Over time, this helps create a space between you and your thoughts, giving you more control over your mind. If sitting in silence feels difficult, you can try other forms of mindfulness like focusing on sounds, objects, or even walking. Mindful walking is a simple way to incorporate meditation into your daily life. As you walk, pay attention to the sensations in your body, your breath, and the world around you. This simple practice can be deeply calming and is an excellent way to clear your mind. Turning negative thoughts into positive actions. The last point I want to share with you is about transforming negative thinking into something positive. Overthinking often arises from a place of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. When we start to spiral into worry, we tend to focus on what could go wrong rather than considering what we can do to make things better. One way to counter this is to turn your thoughts into actionable steps. Instead of worrying about something, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today to make this better? If you're anxious about your health, for example, take a walk or schedule a doctor's appointment. If you're worried about family dynamics, reach out and have an open conversation. Taking action, no matter how small, empowers you to feel more in control and reduces the tendency to dwell on worst-case scenarios. It's about shifting from passively thinking about problems to actively solving them. By using these strategies, engaging in hobbies, exercising, nurturing social connections, practicing mindfulness, and turning negative thoughts into positive actions, you'll begin to notice that overthinking doesn't have to dominate your life. The more you practice these habits, the easier it becomes to break free from the cycle of worry and enjoy a sense of calm, balance, and clarity. Now that we've explored a variety of techniques to help stop overthinking, it's important to remember that building lasting habits takes time and patience. Overthinking is a deeply ingrained pattern for many, and changing how we respond to our thoughts requires consistent effort and practice. But with the right tools and mindset, it's absolutely possible to regain control and live with more peace and clarity. One of the most effective ways to continue managing overthinking as we age is to embrace a routine that nurtures your mind and body. Having a structured daily routine provides a sense of control and purpose, which can be incredibly helpful in reducing mental clutter. When your day is filled with intentional activities and a balance of work, rest, and play, there's less room for your mind to wander into unproductive, anxious thoughts. Let's start with the power of structured mornings. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If your mornings are rushed, filled with stress, or devoid of purpose, you're more likely to find yourself in a cycle of overthinking. However, if you dedicate your mornings to activities that ground you, such as stretching, journaling, or enjoying a quiet cup of tea, you'll feel more centered and calm as you begin the day. One of the most beneficial ways to structure your mornings is to incorporate mindfulness into the early hours. Take a few minutes to breathe deeply, reflect on what you're grateful for, or simply sit quietly with your thoughts. You don't have to meditate for an hour. Just a few minutes can make a difference in how your mind feels. When you give yourself this time in the morning, it helps you start the day with intention, rather than jumping straight into tasks or worrying about what's ahead. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by a flood of thoughts, try writing down a short list of what's on your mind. This can help clear your head and allow you to focus on what's most important. Similarly, taking some time for reflection in the evening can help you unwind and clear your mind before bed. Overthinking tends to sneak in when you're lying down at night, often leading to restless sleep. To avoid this, consider dedicating the last 10 minutes of your day to reflecting on your thoughts, writing in a gratitude journal, or even doing a simple body scan to relax. This practice signals to your mind that the day is over, and it's time to shift into relaxation mode. It helps your brain transition from a busy, active state to a more restful one, making it easier to fall asleep without racing thoughts keeping you awake. Simplify your environment to reduce mental clutter. Another powerful technique for managing overthinking is to simplify your environment. The external world often mirrors our internal world, and a cluttered, chaotic space can contribute to a cluttered mind. If your home is filled with items that no longer serve you, it can add to the mental load and make it harder to focus. Taking small steps to declutter and organize your living space can have an incredibly positive effect on your mental state. Start by picking one area of your home, whether it's your desk, kitchen, or closet, and gradually remove things that no longer bring you joy or serve a purpose. Not only will this create a more peaceful and organized space, but it will also give you a sense of accomplishment and control, which can reduce the urge to overthink. Along with physical decluttering, mental decluttering is also essential. Often, overthinking is exacerbated by the sheer number of thoughts and worries that pile up in our minds. To prevent this mental clutter, try practicing digital decluttering as well. For example, limit your exposure to news and social media, as these platforms can flood your mind with information and negativity. Instead, choose to focus on more positive, enriching content that supports your well-being. If you need to set boundaries on screen time, do it. This will help free your mind from constant distractions and give you space to focus on what matters most. The importance of self-compassion. When we talk about overthinking, we often think of it as a personal flaw, something that needs to be fixed. But the truth is, overthinking is a natural response to uncertainty and stress. It's a survival mechanism that's evolved over time. The challenge isn't necessarily about eliminating overthinking completely. It's about learning how to manage it so it doesn't take over your life. That's where self-compassion comes in. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we find ourselves overthinking or getting stuck in mental loops. We might tell ourselves things like, "Why can't I just stop worrying?" Or, "I should be better at handling this by now." But practicing self-compassion means accepting that overthinking happens to everyone, especially when we're facing challenges. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just part of being human. Instead of judging yourself for overthinking, try to respond to yourself with kindness and understanding. Acknowledge your feelings without criticism. For example, if you're overthinking something, say to yourself, "It's okay to feel worried, but I don't need to dwell on this right now. I've handled challenges before, and I'll handle this one too." Offering yourself these small moments of compassion can reduce the harshness of your inner critic and create a more peaceful, supportive inner dialogue. Strengthening your mindset for the future over time, practicing these habits will help you build a stronger mindset, one that is less susceptible to the stress of overthinking. But as we age, it's especially important to develop a growth mindset, one that focuses on learning, adapting, and growing rather than getting stuck in negative thought patterns. A growth mindset encourages the belief that you can improve and change throughout your life, no matter your age. It helps you see challenges as opportunities for learning, rather than insurmountable obstacles. This mindset is powerful because it keeps you focused on progress, rather than perfection. It allows you to accept setbacks as part of life, rather than letting them cause you to spiral into overthinking. As we approach different stages of life, such as retirement or changes in our health, it can be easy to get caught up in the uncertainty of what's next. But by focusing on a growth mindset, you can shift your perspective and embrace these changes as opportunities for growth, exploration, and new experiences. Every phase of life has something valuable to offer. It's just a matter of shifting the way you think about it. Trust in the process. One final thought I want to leave you with is the importance of trusting the process. Overthinking often comes from a place of fear and a desire for control. We want to know exactly how everything will turn out, and when we don't, our minds race with possibilities. But the truth is, life is unpredictable, and that's okay. Trusting the process means letting go of the need for certainty and allowing yourself to experience life as it comes. It's about having faith in yourself and your ability to handle whatever challenges arise, without needing to overthink every outcome. The more you practice letting go and focusing on the present, the easier it becomes to stop overthinking. Life isn't about having all the answers. It's about learning to live with the unknown and finding peace in the journey. Conclusion: a calmer, more peaceful life awaits. As we wrap up this video, I want to remind you that overthinking doesn't have to control your life. By practicing mindfulness, engaging in activities that nourish your mind and body, simplifying your environment, and embracing self-compassion, you can take back control and live with greater peace. It's about creating small, lasting changes that gradually lead to a more focused, relaxed, and fulfilling life. Remember, the journey to a calmer mind isn't about achieving perfection. It's about taking consistent steps towards creating a peaceful, balanced life. Over time, you'll notice that you're more present, more at ease, and less caught up in the cycle of overthinking. And with each small victory, you'll feel more confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges without letting your mind overwhelm you. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you've experienced the challenges of overthinking and have found your own ways to cope, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it useful, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips on living a happy, healthy, and stress-free life. Here's to enjoying every moment of your journey, free from the weight of overthinking. You've got this.